I have talked about many heartbreaking stories of Korean celebrities, but this one doesn't compare to any of them. Actress Choi Jin-sil was regarded as the most popular actress of her time, but her life and passing are full of tragedies, including poverty, traffic accidents, kidnappings, assaults, robberies, stalking, and the spread of false information that persisted for 20 years. Not to mention her mother tried to take away Jin-sil's, her brother's, and her own life. This video is not for everyone, so if you have a hard time with this kind of topic, then it would be better to click off. Choi was born as the first child to her parents on December 24, 1968, in Seoul. When she was 2 years old, her father, a taxi driver, contracted tuberculosis pleurisy and was unable to work, selling the taxi he owned. Choi then developed a heart disease as a child but could not get proper treatment due to lack of money. Due to financial situation. At the age of 4, she moved in with her extended family, father, mother, younger brother, 3 aunts, 3 uncles, and a grandmother, in a rundown 3-room shack in the mountain village of Gapable. Their life in poverty was so bad that her mother couldn't handle it anymore. She couldn't bear seeing her children suffering so much. Her mother took Choi and her younger brother up a hill to commit a living, but the attempt failed and they returned home crying. During her childhood, when her parents yelled at each other and fought, she could not breathe properly out of fear and developed a habit of biting her nails. She bit her nails then all her life, while memorizing a script, watching a scary movie, or when she was nervous before filming. When she was 10, her father went to work as a laborer in the Middle East, and her family moved to Bulgwangdong, Yunpyeonggu. When her father ran away from home, her mother had to support the family by herself. She started running a small street stall selling food. When she was in high school and her family was kicked out of their rented house, she took rat poison from a pharmacy as she wanted to live herself. She took it at her friend's house. Her stomach ached, but she regained consciousness the next day. She later surmised that the pharmacist noticed her having negative thoughts and gave her another medicine instead of rat poison. The only happiness she found in was art, and she was very good at it, and her teacher encouraged her to go to art school. Due to poverty in her family, she gave up on art school, and if not supportive teachers, she wouldn't have been able to finish even high school. A biology teacher even paid Choi's tuition out of his own salary. She thought the only way she could escape the poverty was if she became a famous star. So she and her younger brother worked on their acting skills together, and they passed the KBS talent recruitment test in 1986. However, their mother did not want her to enter the entertainment industry, and she was unable to pay for her training at the broadcaster, so her dreams of becoming an actress were put on hold. After she graduated from high school, she wanted to go to art school again but could not afford it, so she got a job at a hotel in Seoul. However, she could not give up on her acting dreams and quit the hotel in 1988 and went on a 2-month hunger strike. After a while, their mother surrenders, and her brother helps her. Her brother, who was a senior in high school, had been working as an advertising model already. And he personally took her portfolio pictures and visited modeling agencies with her. Her role in a Samsung commercial gained her the early celebrity status. In 1988, she debuted as a TV actress with her supporting role in the MBC drama 500 Years of Joseon. 2 years later, she debuted in films with North Korean Partisan in South Korea. In her 2-decade-long career as an actress, Choi went on to star in 18 movies and 20 dramas, appeared in 140 commercials, and won the 33rd Grand Bell Award for Best Actress. But the skyscraping career of hers came with plenty of tragedies. She got into 2 car accidents. In 1990, she went to Saipan to film a commercial, got into a car accident, and had a leg skin graft surgery. Because of this, she filmed Nambugun with an injury. She had another traffic accident in 1995. But a year prior, in 1994, her former manager Bae Bong-soo, an influential figure in the industry then, was unalived by her road manager. Choi was summoned as a witness, but rumors spread far and wide that she was involved in the murder too. Though baseless, the speculations dented her public image. The same year she was almost kidnapped, and also her home address was exposed. Her house was robbed several times. She suffered anxiety, getting startled seeing the curtains at home fluttering. In 1995, to achieve psychological stability and to avoid polarizing fans and thieves, she decided to move out to a residential commercial complex and appointed security guards. At around 2:30 a.m. in 1998, an incident occurred in which Choi Jin-sil was almost kidnapped again by a man in his 40s. The manager at the time, Park Bong-gi, picked up Choi Jin-sil, who had finished filming the movie Mayonnaise that day, and drove her home. Mr. Park sent Choi Jin-sil up to the apartment on the 5th floor alone to make an urgent business call. Afterwards, Mr. Park went to her apartment to check on her return, but Choi Jin-sil's mother was puzzled, saying that her daughter had not come home yet. Mr. Park, who had a momentary thought of oops, quickly ran down the stairs and found Choi Jin-sil lying face down in the dark third-floor hallway, shaking. Mr. Park said, "A black shadow appeared to the right of Choi Jin-sil and pointed a weapon at my stomach. I grabbed a knife and started a scuffle, causing Choi Jin-sil to run away." However, while he was buying time for Choi Jin-sil to run away, Mr. Park suffered a 5 cm tear in his abdomen from the weapon wielded by the assailant. The criminal was hiding inside the building waiting for Jin-sil to return home, then got into the elevator on the 4th floor, pointed a weapon at Choi Jin-sil who was inside, and threatened, "I have somewhere to go, so let's go for a while." The culprit, who dragged the terrified Jin-sil down from the 3rd floor, tried to escape through the stairs but was caught by the manager, Mr. Park. Choi Jin-sil, who escaped danger, ran into her favorite chicken restaurant near her house. The owner of the chicken restaurant, whom she knew well, hid her in the kitchen and reported all this to the police. The culprit of this attempted kidnapping was never caught. You would think after all this her time for luck and happiness would come. Well, for a moment she thought, when she married a professional baseball player Cho Sung-min in 2000. In 2001, they had a son, Hwan-hee, and in 2003, the couple welcomed a daughter, Joon-hee. But their married life was far from being a happy one. Throughout their marriage, Cho Sung-min would use the media to portray his wife as a bad spouse to the public, even though in reality, he was the one at fault. Cho Sung-min reportedly indulged in marital infidelity and owed a huge debt to his mother-in-law and brother-in-law. He was also routinely abusive towards Choi, having physically attacked her in 2002 when she was pregnant with their second child. But Cho Sung-min went to the media and publicized the attack as mutually violent. In 2004, he assaulted her again, and in September of that year, he filed for divorce. By that time, Choi had already charged him with assault. But to win the custody of her children, she had to drop all the charges and even nullify his debt to her family. Though Choi won sole custody of her children in the divorce, Cho Sung-min was rewarded with visitation rights. The smear campaign that her ex-husband was fueling against her in the media became too much for Choi to handle, and she decided to come forward as a victim of domestic violence in 2004. But instead of sympathy, all she got was further punishment. At that time, Choi was the brand ambassador of Shinhan Engineering and Construction. But when she came forward with photographic evidence of her abuse, the company dropped her sponsorship, claiming that she had failed to maintain dignity as the brand's representative as she had disclosed her swollen and bruised face to the public. They also filed a lawsuit, suing her for damages, but Choi won the case. In 2005, her career bounced back with the soap opera My Rosy Life, which gained her significant praise from critics and audiences. In 2008, she gave another show-stopping performance in the show Last Scandal, and the show's popularity got the producers to consider a second season. But Choi was gone before it could happen. In September 2008, An Jae-hwan, the husband of popular comedian Jong Sun-hee, was found dead in his car. He died by unaliving himself, reportedly due to the stress of his huge debt. Choi was a close friend of Jong's, and at his funeral, the actress was visibly disturbed. But shortly after the funeral, rumors spread through the internet that Choi was Jong's loan shark, therefore implying that she was the catalyst behind his unaliving. Choi sought a police investigation to find out the source of the rumor, and eventually, the police arrested a security company employee who was behind this defamation campaign. But the numerous stresses of her life caught up with Choi Jin-sil eventually. On October 2, 2008, the actress passed away. She hanged herself. Her passing was followed by reports of multiple copycat self-unalivings in the country. Min Sung-gil, a psychiatrist at Yonsei University's Severance Hospital, said Choi's death may have triggered what is known as the so-called Werther effect, which ended up causing a 16.23% spike in self-unaliving rates in the country. However, even after her death, Choi was disrespected multiple times. On June 4, 2009, the Supreme Court reversed the High Court ruling that was in favor of Choi in the lawsuit Shinhan filed against her. According to the revised ruling of the Supreme Court, Choi was at fault for not maintaining proper social and moral honor by disclosing herself as a domestic violence victim. A few days later, Korean Women Link and the Korea Women's Association United issued a joint statement criticizing the ruling. When a person is suffering, he or she needs to restore their dignity and social honor by disclosing the damage and seeking proper legal help as Choi did. A month later of this ruling, on August 15, 2009, Choi's ashes were stolen from her burial site. The police hunted down the thief and discovered the urn containing her ashes in his house. The urn was placed in a new tomb in the Gapsan Park Cemetery, where a small memorial park was built for Choi. Shortly after Choi's death, her brother and her manager committed unaliving, reportedly due to being severely affected by her demise. Choi's daughter Jun-hee publicly claimed that she had an abusive relationship with her grandmother, who got sole custody of both the children of Choi after her passing. Jun-hee was later revealed to be diagnosed with lupus, an incurable and painful autoimmune disease. For years after Choi's death, her ex-husband Cho Sung-min also committed unaliving. Choi Jin-sil, the beloved actress who lived her whole life with immense pain, now lives on through the Choi Jin-sil Foundation, established by her close friends,